Hey everybody, it's Emma and I am here with a great guest coming up. But before we get into today's show, I want everybody to go check out our website. It's www.itsemmasworld.com. And if you miss anything, you want to see anything that we got coming up, it's going to be all right there. And we got a lot of great stuff for you guys. And we love telling stories. So I hope that you'll go on there and check out everybody that's come on our show and who's coming up in the future. And also follow us on Instagram at It's Emma's World, and we would love to see you there as well. Now, our guest today is Ozie Nzeribe, and he is co-starring in an Apple TV drama called Swagger. He's known for his role as Todd in Shameless, and he has told us that dyslexia has shaped his career. So we're going to learn about his story. We're going to learn about him, how he got into acting. And of course, we're going to be talking about his 2 new shows that he's doing right now and more. Welcome to the show, Ozie. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me.
Good. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're still, you're getting back into the workforce and everything's kind of coming back to normal. I mean, we need entertainment. We really do.
You finally, I'm so happy.
So let's kind of learn a little bit about you. I guess kind of start off, we'll talk about the dyslexia in a second, but let's kind of talk about how you got into acting. What made you want to pursue this type of a career?
Acting was not really a part of my main agenda as far as wanting to do things in life. It was actually something kind of I was talked into, because majorly I was just mainly, my profession was music, and I'm a rapper and a singer and everything. One person we were working with at the time, and like production wise for a song, had some connects to the acting world as far as getting auditions and everything. And they kind of let me and my mom know. And I wasn't really interested. I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't really my thing. My mom said, just try it, you never know if you're gonna like it or this. I'm like, she said, just go ahead and try it. So one of my first jobs, which was Shameless, actually, and I auditioned, and I actually didn't think I was going to get it, because when I got there were so many people I've been watching on TV for so long around, and I got really like intimidated. But not more than a week later, we heard back that I got it, and that's what kind of launched my whole acting career.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I love that. I love mothers, don't you? I mean, yes. It's amazing, because I think we talk ourselves out of so much stuff, but our parents talk us into it and get us focused on things. And, think about what that just offered, with the doors that it opened for you. It's just really cool.
Honestly, I'm really grateful. I'm glad she did. It's so funny because I really didn't see it going anywhere. I thought I wasn't going to budge, but she just pushed me in the right direction. I'm so grateful.
Now, tell me a little bit about your music. That's really interesting that you do music too. And actually, it kind of makes you like a double threat in the entertainment industry, which is very important to be able to do, because you always have something that you can fall back on or do one or the other, and yes. And experience a couple of different things. And being able to be in the music career and having a music career, I'm sure that makes you a little bit more desirable in Hollywood as well for certain types of roles. So when did you get into doing stuff like that? What type of music do you sing and everything?
Music I've been doing since I actually started when I was like 13, but music has always been like initially a part of my life since I was like 6. I've always been very deep rooted to music. But as far as that, I made my first song when I was 11, did actually put it out when I was 13, because, I wasn't sure I was ready for it yet. And when I did, we wanted someone to help me kind of bring it out into light, because we wanted people to just take a first look at me without, having to worry if it's going to do well or not. So we got an artist to collab with me, which this is Ray J. And funny enough, it was actually just we met with a producer who had a list of people and literally just asked, okay, who on this list do you want to work with? And the name I recognized was Ray J. And I was like, okay, him, because it would be a perfect way to branch out my new song. And who is such a cool guy. We met up with him in his office. My mom and his dad started talking, and we'd start playing in his game room and stuff. It was really cool being like kind of under his wing. And afterwards, we made the video, which was literally on my birthday, which was like the best thing ever. My first song, my first video, and it went exceptionally well. And we put it out. I've been doing music ever since.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So what did it feel like when you first saw yourself on television, when you first heard your first song on a, playback for you? Was that kind of surreal?
It was very surreal, especially because I'm like a perfectionist. So it definitely took a minute before I was ready just to play it for myself without doing little corrections and everything. But it was definitely different. And I was like proud and just like shocked. I was like, oh, hey, that's me. Like I'm hearing my voice right now. It was really surreal. Yeah.
That is kind of a fun thing that you can do as an artist, is that, like sports people, we see they go over film and they figure out how they can improve their game and stuff like that. Well, we can do the same thing as artists, because you can look back at what you did on this television show. You might say, yeah, I could do this better. And with your music, obviously you can see what you did, improve it, tweak it and stuff like that, and grow for your next album and your next song. So how important is that to you?
It is very important, and especially because, like you said, we can't really do that with TV. When it's out, it's out. There's no changing in this and that. And I do definitely have those moments where I feel like I could have done better. I could have, but that's just me getting in my own head, just trying to outdo myself. But as far as music, that is very important to me. I want everybody to hear the exact, complete version of everything I do, and I want 100% approval on it, which is why I'm independent as far as an artist wise, and I'm not with a label, because I don't want my vision to be taken away, the way I do things to be taken away, because I'm doing pretty well myself, and I want to continue to let people hear me, not somebody else. So yeah, it's very important.
That's really important point that you made, because I know there's a lot more people going independent than through labels, which does give you a lot more hands-on experience to produce what you want to produce. But it can also be challenging because you have the financial aspect, you have the marketing aspect that you are technically responsible for as well. So as an artist and as a person that's going into doing television shows and movies and stuff like that, how do you manage all of this?
Well, my mom. I have my mom with me. Let's just put it that way. She's the momager since day one and has been helping me juggle all of these things. And I literally don't think I would be doing this or here without her right now. She's literally my rock, as well as my other family members, like my brother, my dad. They're all very supportive and hands-on with my career. And I don't think I would be able to continue doing any of this without any of their help and support. So that's definitely how I keep everything more or less in check.
Now, you say you have dyslexia, and that actually impacts a lot of people around this country and around the world. And a lot of the times I've noticed that even in school, they don't really focus too much on it. And that, I think, can make or break a child's ability to succeed in school, because it is challenging. And now I see that you're also doing music, you're doing television, movies and stuff like that. You have to read scripts, you have to do it really quickly, and you have to be able to put it all together. So having dyslexia has got to be a challenge for that time constraint. And yet you say it defined your career. Tell me your struggles with dyslexia, and tell me how you've been able to overcome it.
Well, as far as dyslexia, although it was mild case when I was younger, but it was still enough to like not keep me steady rolling as the rest of the kids as far as when I was younger and everything, because I wasn't really much of a school person when I was a kid and everything. And I just never really understood or was able to keep up with a lot of people. And everybody else would just assume, like parents included, teachers included, he's just disinterested. He doesn't want to do this. He's lacking, he's just getting in his own way. But in reality, I'm not understanding this. And I'm not really saying much because everybody else seems to be. And I just don't want to feel like, oh, I'm feeling now like I'm dumb or just less than, or just like the only person that's not getting this. And I'm just, and it was really came into play with a lot of struggles in my life as far as definitely school-wise and up until, let's say, freshman year of high school. But this is when the next year I left to online school, but a little before I left, this is when I was realized, because one of my teachers, I guess, kind of self-diagnosed me themselves and realized that I had this problem. And it was basically, it's not like completely gone, obviously. I'm going to have little moments where like things don't add up when I'm reading, and And I used to be, but it's better than before, because I used to be terrified of public reading or speaking, which is why I'm so shocked that I'm doing this acting thing where I have to do lines in front of like everybody, cast and crew, and all of this and not mess up. But it has definitely come into play. This is actually one of the reasons why acting was never like on my agenda in life, because, you know, what kid wouldn't want to do this life, you know, I mean, be on TV and work with their favorite celebrities and everything. But I just never thought I could because of the problem I had as far as reading, memorization, and all of this. But throughout my life, it got a little better because as far as high school and up, I've had a one-on-one tutor and a program that kind of helped, you know what I mean, specifically helped me with these problems that I was facing as far as the school and reading, my main problem, reading comprehension. And that's, like I said, I didn't know it was strong enough to that point that I could start doing acting and all of this, because I still thought it would be a major problem. I didn't want to really make a fool of myself. But like I said, without my mom pushing, I wouldn't have known that I got better at it, I guess. But, you know, the challenges are still there. Like on set, I would still, even though I can, like, let's say now I'm better at memorizing faster and just getting it out there. It's just, you know, certain things where we would have to retake because I keep mistaking a couple words for other words. And it's just like, you know what I mean? But there's minor things, but I easily correct them now and I'm better for it.
Wow. Now, obviously with your music, you're writing your music. So it's probably a little bit easier to comprehend it, remember it, than it would be a script that's kind of thrown at you last minute, sometimes you get them, I'm sure, a couple of months in advance. But on a situation like, let's just say they give it to you within a week or less, how do you manage learning that script so that way you can do the best that you can at it, because you are time constrained on that?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's easy. Like for me, it's much simpler than you think. It's actually, everything I'm reading right now, it's like a, what's it called? A photographic memory in a way, but not like to the complete extent where I can just remember every single thing. But whatever I'm focusing on, I literally scan the page. I'm reading it very carefully, word by word, word by word. I go back in my mind and I'm literally viewing the page and I'm like going off of everything that I'm seeing. Wow. And it is literally, I'm so happy that I'm able to do this, because I was not able to do it before, like I said, when I was younger, but through the help I got in school and everything, it definitely changed everything for me as far as how I memorize, how I look at things, how I, you know, do work or anything I'm tasked with. But yeah, it's literally just like the page is still in my head. I'm going line by line. If I forget a little bit, I just reverse myself. I look at it again and then go back to it in my head. And now all I have to do at that point is just apply like the acting and, you know what I mean? Just make it feel real and make the audience believe what I'm acting like, and, you know, but it's definitely one of the things I'm most proud of. And it's actually a cool skill that I developed now, because even like a lot of the scenes you'll see on the new show, Swagger, people will be asking like, how did you memorize? Because I have like a big monologue and people are still asking like, how did you do that? And I'm just like, I'm literally just going off what's in my head right now.
Does it make it easier to do it knowing that it's not like a test, but rather just something fun that you're going to be making money at?
Definitely. Okay. Because even at that aspect that I'm still like, you know, it's obviously, like I said, I'm in college right now, so it's helping in schoolwork, but it works better when it's for something like, you know what I mean, that I'm 100% like in love with work-wise, or just that that's less work vibe, more like passion. Then yes, it does help a lot better, as do a lot of things. But yeah.
The reason I brought that up is because, you know, Albert Einstein actually got a C and almost a failing grade in math, yet he decided he became a nuclear physicist and was able to do some amazing things outside of school. So sometimes I wonder if it's the pressure of failing in school that kind of makes it even harder, because we put undue stress upon ourselves and we look at it more as a chore and a problem than just having fun and letting it flow and go.
Definitely. I'm 100% agree with that. Sorry. I agree with that 100%, because when I was younger, this was something, you know, that I've been told by my parents and a lot of other people, school is like the only route as far as, you know what I mean, being successful in life and this and that. And, you know, you have to get out of your own way and just succeed there, or else, you know, you won't really be able to accomplish much in life. And that's like something that I've had in my mind since I was very young, and pressure was put on, but like by third grade, fourth grade, and this is like something really crazy that everybody's, because I don't tell a lot of people, but like people are shocked when I do. By this time, I was like about ready just to give up, because as far as schoolwork, I was not exceeding where everybody's expectations. I was just sitting in the same spot, and I was not understanding, and it was really frustrating me. So at that moment, I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna live my life now, worry about everything else later. Whatever might come. If I'm not successful, if I'm doing this, I just said, let me have fun now and not like, sorry, not put myself through this.
So let's talk about your new television show on Apple TV called Swagger. Tell me a little bit about about the character you play, and what made this role interesting for you to want to pursue.
Okay, so I can play the character Royale Hughes. He's just one of those kids on the outside that's always trying to get inside. He's the outcast as far as the group and everything. He's a little bit shy at times, but all he wants to do is prove to everybody that he knows and loves the game basketball, because this dyslexia is kind of, with him, it's more physical. So, you know, in basketball, there are plays you have to study and go over. In his mind, when, you know, it's drawn out and it's being put down, he's confusing everything that's on the plays, like going left, going right, going from this side, going down the court. You know, it's all jumbling in his mind, and it's so confusing, and it's making him look like a terrible basketball player. And that effect, everybody else is, you know, just constantly picking on him for that, and just saying he's slow, or, you know, whatever the case is. And the reason why it coincides with me pretty well, because like I said, as far as the dyslexia side, you know, same with me, as far as certain people, you know, thinking, oh, he's slow, he doesn't understand this, or just trying to be on the in crowd a lot of the time, more so when I was younger, not more now, but trying to be on the inside crowd, wanting to fit in as much as possible, but not being able to. And also coming from a wealthy background, as far as people thinking, you know, oh, the only reason he's on the team is his dad, because my dad on the show funds the team. And this is initially why he makes it in, why he's not cut, because, you know what I mean, well, dad is not going to cut his son. And this is a lot of the similarities between that character and me is like astounding. And I found it like really easy to slip into the character and just play more believably, because I've been through a lot of those aspects in life and everything, and having to kind of more or less prove myself to certain people, and wanting the drive to just continue on with what I love. And what Royale loves in this aspect is basketball. And you will see him fail a bunch of times just to succeed later, which, like I said, I coincide with that very well. But yeah.
Growing up, obviously you have a musical artistic background, and a lot of those people don't get into a lot of sports. So can you really play basketball? I mean, was this like a far-fetched for you? Are you good at it?
I'm decent at basketball. So funny enough, I auditioned more than once. I auditioned like 2 times. And in the beginning of these stuff, they don't really tell you exactly what you're auditioning for. They just said, okay, possible basketball show coming up. We need you to be able to shoot threes, et cetera, et cetera. So I originally auditioned for the main character. But when I had gotten there for that, they didn't let me know you had to be like basically the next NBA star. You know what I mean? Like just a killer on the court, do all this. So ended up going with the second character, which was Royale. And it coincided with me better. And also that he didn't need to be grade A yet. Like my character is the type that needed to grow. So at this point in time, he's, like I said, he's messing up with these passes, but later the dyslexia be damned, like, you know, he's coming above it and getting better. So it was easier training for that, but also funny because a lot of the times they had to make me intentionally miss baskets, intentionally mess up doing layups and everything, and it's just so funny. But yeah, definitely had to at least have some type of background in it, you know what I mean? But initially I got chosen for my acting, and a lot of our cast, funny enough, like a good amount of them weren't actors before this. They were looking for basketball players initially on the side. So they scouted AAU teams from literally all over. We literally have people from Australia, Canada, Jersey, Louisiana, Atlanta, like just literally all over. This was like a worldwide search, and they found the best of the best. So yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the plot of the movie. I know that people are going to want to be interested in what the movie is all about. So tell me a little bit about that.
All right. So in a nutshell, this show follows AAU players from different backgrounds, whether it be the poorer side, richer side, well, I mean, all aspects of life and everything coming together for the love of basketball. But these kids are all going through their own individual struggles as far as abuse, dyslexia, overcoming adversity, and a lot of other things that, like, you know what I mean, is telling a story, not just, okay, these aren't just some kids that are just the show about kids playing basketball or this. It's more than that, you know what I mean? It's kids having to deal with adult situations, adult problems, and having to deal with this more or less on their own, you know what I mean? And this is like letting people know, as far as like, you know, kids, nobody likes to think kids initially have that big of problems, you know what I mean? Like nothing we really go through is as big as what they're going through. And it's kind of like going against that, showing you like we go through a lot of stuff too, you know what I mean? And it's hard, and sometimes we feel alone, but we all initially, again, come together for the love of basketball, and, you know what I mean, to lead our team to glory, and not to any small part helping each other on our everyday problems.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a really cool plot to the movie. What do you hope that people take away from the movie when they see it?
Well, there's a lot of things in this show that I believe will really reside in people, but maybe one of the things I hope they take away from it is always speak up, because there's a lot of things that are like, you know, the kids that like to keep secrets from their parents, of especially the hard things they're going through that we don't think they would understand, and you know what I mean, that we think we'd either get punished for it or backlash or judge. Just never be afraid to speak up, you know what I mean? You never know what it can do, because there's a lot of things with either my character and his dad that he's never spoken up to him before, and later, you know, he finds the strength to. And I want every kid, or not even kid, anybody, just, you know, just speak up, you know what I mean? With any problem you're going through, it's always better when the people you love know, so they can help you.
That is true. And they are our biggest support system, you know, and I think we always are afraid that we are going to embarrass ourselves, or they're going to think less of us. And that's probably why we don't do it, but that's not always the truth. You know, sometimes we get in our own heads and we don't do things because we're afraid. And sometimes it is best just to speak up.
That's true. Very true.
So what advice would you give to somebody that is maybe has dyslexia and wants to be an artist, wants to be a musician, wants to be an entertainer, wants to be anything? What advice would you give them to pursue those dreams and not give up on them?
Well, first, if it's the case where it was like me, where not your parents don't know, nobody really knows, it's always best to let them know. But even though I found out kind of late, but when it's best you tell them, because they would just assume like my thing, that you're disinterested, you don't want to do this, you did this, and you're just kind of afraid to say anything because you don't want anybody think you're dumb or whatever the case is. Let them know, even if you don't know you have it, let them know what exact problem you're feeling so it can better help. And also they can help get you on a steady program, because like the one-on-one program they had with me, it literally changed me for the better, because I went from being so confused to a lot of the subjects I'm going through to just like understanding it and not even needing help anymore. Like I'm doing really good on my own. And even if I do, they still have someone there to help me. So definitely speak up, definitely try to get any, you know, those type of programs that better understand what we're going through. And also just keep practicing with the music, man. Like, or whether you want to do acting, keep practicing with it. as far as what you're writing, your reading comprehension. If it's like my type of mild dyslexia, or mine is just specifically reading and comprehension, you know what I mean? It doesn't hurt. Read, like, let's say, I'll say, try to read almost every week. It builds up, it builds up definitely the memorization, because I know this right now is kind of like a little bit hurting us as far as dyslexia, but it's also to think of it like a superpower, the memorization, how you will be able to use it later in life and just feel like this peace that I'm feeling right now, that I don't have to deal with all these struggles anymore, the problems I was going through, especially by myself, because I wasn't telling anybody. So speak up, definitely try to find programs that can help you, and keep at your craft.
Well, we are running out of time, and I would love to be able to have people come follow you on social media or websites, and of course, see the television show Swagger that's coming out, and see all the other stuff that you got going on. So tell people how they could follow you, how they could see the show, and a lot more.
Definitely. On Instagram, guys, my name is Z Money For Real. That is ZMNY, the number 4, real. TikTok, I am OZIE. Twitter, ZMNY_for real. And Swagger's on Apple, guys. Episode 4 just came out yesterday. Everybody go watch. It's going to be crazy.
Thank you for coming on. I'm proud of you for overcoming the obstacles that you had. You didn't let it keep you down. And I think that's going to be an inspiration to everybody that's watching this, because I know it is a kind of a common thing that people have, and they let it get to them. And I'm really glad that you stood up to it. You gave some great advice, and thank you for coming on and being a great guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And guys, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I got to pay bills. We'll be back in 2. Be right back after this.
Like, OMG, you were on TV and junk.